Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Welcome to the weekend. It is officially Friday, August 15th. We are halfway through the last hot month here in Las Vegas. After this, September, going to football season, college football season, end of the baseball season, beginning of the NBA, all the things that I'd like to see along with double-digit weather. So tonight is, like I said, I just thought I'd throw in a topic tonight. Just get tired of just having bland midnight expresses, and tonight we're going to have I'm going to go over if I have a co-host, might have his too. I'm going to go over my top 5 jump scares, not necessarily things that scared me, but things that surprised me. I know I left things out, but we're only going to do 5. I could probably have like 15 or 20 if I thought about it long enough, but I got mine ready. Some of them come from the very same movie. And like I said, these are just things that caught me off guard as I saw them for the first time. Now, over the years, after I've seen certain movies a million times, obviously I'm not going to be scared or I'm going to be taken by surprise. But these, the way I categorize these is as I saw what I saw when I saw it. So, all right. Let's see. Hello, duck. William, is there a way you can start Charles in the same mindset as Magneto, but slowly turn pacifist? Not necessarily, because he begins there. You would do the circumstances. Now that's the whole purpose of having Magneto there is to have that other point of view. Now you could do it with Magneto without Charles, as they did in Age of Apocalypse. But yeah, I don't know if you could do anything, but I don't know if that would be advised. Probably not. Probably not going to get a chance to watch it. I am not aware of this news. I have not been paying attention to that. Do I think your Florida Panthers can do a 5-peat? No. I don't think any team is going to be able to do a 5-peat because it just physically takes. I would expect the Florida Panthers not even to make the finals this year, and same thing with the Edmonton Oilers. You're talking about 3 straight trips to the finals. Usually after that third deep playoff run, your body start to break down and guys start to get exhausted because they played more games than anybody. Same thing with Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton Oilers have been in the Stanley Cup the last 2 times. I don't think there will be a third for them, to be honest with you. So, no, I think you're going to have 2 brand new teams in the Stanley Cup final. Let's see. Also, if you would like to, go ahead and keep this open. I know I said I was going to close it, but why not? If you guys would like to donate for some kind of crazy ass movie that you want to see me suffering through, like we did the other night with Hotel Paradise, and as we have done through some of the buffoonery that Jim Carrey has produced, you can go ahead and donate to the link. Also, if you want to see a really good movie, we can do that as well. This weekend, we will be doing Superman screenings. I think it's going to, I'm quite certain it's going to be on Sunday. I have not decided whether they will be the current Superman and Man of Steel, but there's definitely going to be Man of Steel, and we are definitely going to be raising funds for American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So keep an eye out for the notifications there. Hello, Ozzy Koala. What's up, Larry? What's going on? Yes, I am. What? I didn't go anywhere, did I? Yeah. Oh, okay. You got a Jar Jar reference here. And Darth Corto. What are we doing here? Ah, cool. Okay, Larry, what do you want to see? All right, Larry, I just got your donation. What's the movie do you want to see? Oh, by the way, Clint, that thing I told you about, them moving us downstairs, they fixed the elevator. They were going to move us downstairs. I went down there today, and I went to check out the new spot below, and then I got a notification as I was going to get the keys to it that they were no longer moving us, but they have fixed the elevator. I saw them. The final inspection for the elevator is next week. If all goes well, I'm literally going to shoot like a video, like a mini movie celebrating that and letting every man, woman, and child know that. The Garland double feature, Warfare. So now Civil War, I know, is on HBO Max. Is Warfare on there as well? I'll find it. And when do you want to do this, Larry? Just let me know. Thank you, by the way. No, what's his face? Brad pulled some shit out of his ass like that about. I'd say jump scares. Disturbing scenes are different. Disturbing scenes don't have to scare you. You can have we can do disturbing scenes. That's just not what we're doing tonight. I mean, that's a good topic, I think, but no, that's not. Yeah, I said, I think Brad was thinking disturbing scenes because he couldn't think of any jump scares, but I can immediately. And disturbing things are like different, like Hannibal when Ray Liotta, Hannibal's cutting off the top of his skull and cooking his brain and feeding it to Ray Liotta, his own brain. That's disturbing. There's a lot, dude. You'd have to do like a top 10. We can do. Remind me a second. We can do disturbing scenes, but the jump scares are different. Jump scares are like, ooh, type of deal. You know what I mean? I think it was done for Amazon, wasn't it? I think it's an Amazon movie. It's going on Amazon like next week, something like that. I thought it was a day and date release. I don't know why they even released it in the theaters, to be honest with you, because that kind of release isn't going to really get you. It's not going for Academy buzz, I don't think so. I don't even know why they did the 1 day release. No, I sent people to see Nobody 2, but I just didn't have time in my schedule to go. I saw the first one. Yes, I did. I saw that just as I was getting in today. I didn't see it confirmed like on their usual thing where they say, Ace Austin is all elite, but that's a good fit. I've had a chance to meet and talk with that guy along with him and his former partner, Chris Bay. Ace Austin is a tremendous athlete. I think he's underrated because he's been in TNA, and a lot of people get the chance to see TNA. He left right as this partnership with the WWE was happening, but yeah, that's a good pickup for them. He is and he's young too. They got him right. He's not even approaching his prime yet. So yeah, Ace Austin's a good pickup for them. Hello, Azteca. Okay. I can go on that. How much? It depends on what the movie is. Depends on what the movie is. Like we're not. I don't. Um. I okay. So if we do it, it's gonna have to be. Might have to be early out. Do you mind doing it early afternoon Sunday because we have the fundraiser right after? I have the fundraiser happening probably around 3ish Pacific time. Well, the hill both the hills have both of the versions, the original and the remake have versions. Yeah, we can do the disturbing things. Damn, that's a one where I might have to. Yeah, because there's a lot of dude. We just watched Aliens. I'm sorry, guys. I can do any gore you want. I can all 3Ds doesn't bother me. But man, when shit starts happening with the eyes and the genitals, I can't. I just start grabbing them like this. And somebody got into my nightmares and designed that fucking alien that we saw the other night. And it gets worse. The cat's head exploding, that was completely unnecessary. They put it in a sheep to experiment with it next time. And you kind of saw that. And then you can kind of see it headed towards the sheep. And then there's a scene where it's the sheep it has its eye. It's the alien has taken over. And the way that alien works is just so unsettling. It pushes the normal eye out of the way and puts itself into that spot and then uses its tentacles to disrupt your brain and take you over. I'll be glad when they kill, because obviously the main thing here is the xenomorph. All these other aliens are not, you don't see them going forward. So I'm assuming that throughout the next few episodes, probably the first few episodes, they kill all these other things. They got it. I hope so. My God. And that hanging plant thing, the part of it has like a mucus human face that like when it eats humans, it's just, this is the nastiest TV show. Yeah. So you want to talk about disturbing scenes? We got all kinds. Hi, Music Man. How you doing? Yes, I have. I have not seen this, but I have heard of this movie. Hold on. There's a lot of horror out there. 2022, right? Okay, now there's one that came out in 2022. Now the one I think you're talking about is the one that's upcoming. Is that the one where the dog can sense the ghost? The house is being haunted, but only the dog can see them. I think that's the one you're talking about. I think are we promoting that one? It's Shudder. It's on Shudder. Is it on Shudder now? Hold on. October 3rd. October 3rd in cinemas. And then it'll be on Shudder. I don't know how long it's going to be in cinemas, but I am interested in that. I have heard of it, though. Is that the one you're talking about, Fourth? All right, so we'll end up having to do that one. We'll have to do those ones early on Sunday, and then I'll schedule the Superman one after that. So we're going to, because like I said, right now I'm leading 70-30 doing both Superman movies. So if you are somebody who has seen this new Superman movie and you want to come along with us to see Man of Steel and vice versa, I would like if you have seen one of the, listen, if you're a Superman Zack Snyder fan and you for some reason you didn't see Superman in theaters, here's your shot to see it. Maybe we can like give people different points of view and appreciation for both these movies. So. Hi, Bill. What's going on? Not much. This weekend has been pretty boring, actually. Yeah, Garb the Omelet. I've seen that pop up every day. When I first heard that line, I actually missed that line in the second part. But then everybody, like, as soon as we got done watching it, I kept seeing memes, Garb the Omelet. Alien hasn't been disturbing in years, honestly. You couldn't have watched Alien. I'm sorry. But then again, certain things disturb others, and certain things do not disturb others. So, I've watched disembowelments that I've watched people throw up over. Disembowelments don't do anything for me. Decapitations, tongues being ripped out, you know, spines being ripped out, things, people being put in wood chipper. I mean, those type of things. Like I said, something about the eye, and you do anything down below or the eye just bothers the shit out of me, man. No, Covenant and Prometheus didn't have a lot of jump scares, in my opinion. They all had disturbing things. I would say last Alien Earth is on par with the disgusting, because Prometheus is a disgusting movie too. That black ooze and all that shit and what they do to with that little cobra thing that it goes into his eye. Yeah, they're equally disgusting. So you are talking about the one, okay, with the dog. All right. Yeah, Alien hasn't been this gross. I mean, they tried to outgross you in Covenant, but I think Covenant, they just tried to get the old school people back because they were whining about Prometheus. It didn't have the xenomorph. I'm like, listen, dude, I mean, let's not box ourselves into the entire lore is just that one creature. I mean, I want to see where those creatures got their original form from, because I don't think what David has shown us is completely, because he had to go somewhere to get that. I really want to see where that is. The Engineer Hybrid and Romulus, that was the only thing I took. Nah. Did you watch? Have you seen Alien Earth? That's Eka. I'm sorry, because that is I don't care who makes it. Disney, Claymation, I don't care. That was some nasty shit last night or the other night. I probably have seen way worse, but it doesn't matter. Once you go for the eyes, it doesn't matter if I've seen worse. That's an entirely different category. Ugh. And like I said, how it does it is just like, and then you look at what the thing that is taking over is a big old bulging eye. Ugh. It's going to be a Man of Steel watch party with possibly Superman along. I haven't completely decided yet. We're definitely doing Man of Steel, because that's a Zack Snyder movie, and our charity got going with those Zack Snyder movies. So I definitely want to. And like I said, as soon as I got home from Superman, the first time I saw it, before we hosted our screening, the very first thing I did was turn on Man of Steel, because after I was done with James Gunn's Superman, I had a better appreciation for Zack Snyder's version of the character. Not a knock towards a corn sweat version, but there were so many things that I really longed for to be in a Superman movie that just weren't in that particular version, because that wasn't his mission. And so, like I said, as soon as I got home that night after I did our show, I popped it in and I took a look at it. But the Superman, anything we do will be Sunday afternoon at 3:00. Yeah, it was good. It was some of the best. And like I said, Hulu puts on their best show possibly that they've ever done, and back to damn things about to disappear. Really, really. I mean, first of all, everybody in that movie just needed to just be torn up. But one particular scene that you're talking about, when the person is split down the middle, I thought that was overkill myself. It didn't really. I'm like, okay, sure, but the ritualistic way in which that person was killed was, that was pretty fucked up. It was a prolonged scene for sure, and given what you're watching, it's kind of. But yeah, that Bone Tomahawk. I mean, I remember when that movie came out, man. That was like, oh, you got to see that scene, man. That's all it's going to be. And it's disturbing, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're never going to watch that here, by the way. We're never going to watch that scene, because we're just not doing it. Basically, what happens is there's a particular person in the movie that gets split down from groin to head with an axe. There you go. Yeah, I remember that when they were trapped in that thing, and he just pops out the back and lands. Yeah, but yeah, Covenant was up there, but I think I wish Covenant would have been more like Prometheus, but Covenant itself is an underrated movie. No, a lot of people love Prometheus. A lot of people love it. It's still the highest grossing alien movie out there. Prometheus is still, and I think it's by a lot. I think it's by 100 million, if I'm correct. No, there's a lot. And as the years go on, Prometheus is getting the respect that it should have got back in 2012. And now you're seeing directors like Fede Alvarez, include things that are Prometheus. And by the way, even though Josh Hawley says that his doesn't have a thing to do with anything, I'm looking at the opening credits and I'm looking at the original trailer. There's a lot of black ooze. There's a lot of black ooze that's causing mutations throughout that entire opening. And that black ooze is in Prometheus. So I don't know how that's why when he said that, I'm like, sure, man. All right, whatever. All right. So let's see. Say hi to everybody else. Let's see. We still need to have watch parties for Zack Snyder's 300. I don't know if I want to do Rise of the Empire. Well, that really is. Did he direct that, or did he just?
He didn't direct that. But I think he produced and co-wrote it, but because he was in the middle of making Man of Steel at the time, so he but he was involved with it. But he didn't direct it. Sucker Punch he did. Guardians he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to watch those movies.
Oh no, Legend of the Guardians, man. I wanted to a while back on Comic Book where I said I think Legend of the Guardians is his most underrated.
I think it's rated right where it's supposed to be.
No, it's not. No, it's absolutely not. It's the most epic owl movie of all time. It's got. I mean,
no desire.
It made owls. It made owl. It did like 300. It did like 300 with owls. That's what it is.
All right. Well, no, Aaron, no desire to see those movies. Sucker Punch is my least favorite Zack Snyder movie. And I have to enjoy these things to sit through them. Everyone,
we just did a whole bunch you didn't enjoy.
Not if I'm doing a fundraiser for that. If I'm watching a Zack Snyder movie, there's so many movies I can watch that I can avoid those if I don't want to watch those. Everyone in Alien, goo, ooze, whatever I call it, but the nasty black shit that mutates and fucks up everybody. That got into that girl's, what's her face, and impregnated her within 10 minutes and made her give birth to a big old octopus. That stuff. That is the only way in which I would ever watch. Because not only do I have to watch Wicked, I have to hear that shit, and I'm not just. There's a price for that. Yeah, seriously. All right, guys. I am going to start off with my number 5. My number 5 when it comes to, and it's not a lame one. It's because I be honest with you, I thought about this all day, and there was like a lot of like close calls and ties, and some of these come from, like I said, different the same movie. So 2 of them come from the same movie, but these are ones that I always refer to. So my number 5 is going to be, and I brought this up last night, right? When Bishop got torn up. All right, so remember, this is not this is at the time that I saw it. So it's not like in retrospect. So I'm judging these from when I was at the movie. So I knew something was going down. I didn't know what, because remember, when this happens, I knew how long the movie was, because they tell you when you go buy a ticket. There was too much time left in this movie for just it to end peaceably like it was going to end, just like the first one. I just didn't know what was coming. And the way this scene was shot and done, I don't know how this big, ginormous fucking queen just snuck up in there and just was just laying there. Nobody noticed it. But she puts her tail, sticks it through him, lifts up 2 of the hands, and rips it. And that in 1986, July or August of 1986, whenever I was watching this, like as it was, being presented, this got me. Not so much a jump scare, it was a shock. I knew something was coming, and I still wasn't expected for that. That is my number 5. Poor Bishop getting torn in half by the alien queen and leading to probably some of the most famous alien scenes. Her "Get away from you, bitch," and being in the cargo lifter, and that whole fight, which was kind of cool, like a 15-minute fight with just her and that forklift robot. I thought this was great, but the way they shot this is what made this special. Like I said, everything's okay. We're gonna get to the crowd. Bam, spike, and then you lift it up into focus, and you see the queen, and you're like, and me and my dad were like, how the fuck did she? What? That big old thing? And
Yeah, when you think about logistics, it's not. There's no way she'd fit up into that, where the landing gear is. But you gotta let that slide.
But there she is. So I let that slide. But like I said, cool scene. That's my number 5. Brad, what is your number
5? I'm gonna. These are gonna be. It's like I don't know if this is necessarily like the order I would put them in, but the first one I'm gonna go with actually is Clever Girl from Jurassic Park, specifically, everybody's part of Robert Muldoon. They're trying to, get the power back on the park, and he's tracking the one raptor, and the other one from over here just pops out of the bushes, and he's that close. And so he tries to turn the shotgun, and ends the way you expect it to. I was 6 years old when I first saw Jurassic Park, and of course I've spoken on here many times being a big dinosaur fan, Jurassic Park fan, and that just scared the bejesus out of me seeing that at that age. And the cool thing about that too is it plays upon or builds upon the speech that Grant gives at the beginning about, like, imagine you're in the Cretaceous period and you run into the quote unquote 6-foot turkey, and then the attack comes from the side, and and so that's a payoff for that. Is the raptor attacking Muldoon in Jurassic Park. So yeah, I would definitely rank that as one of my top favorite jump scares.
Okay, that was lame. But hey,
it was lame. Okay, we're pulling this up right now.
But you're 6. No, because you're gonna get us covered.
The fuck, I'm not pulling that. Will not go unanswered.
But
I will not tolerate.
I'm gonna excuse the fact that you're a little 6-year-old, and Barney probably scared you as a.
Okay, William decided to leave early tonight, so we're it's gonna be
whatever. You forget I can appear when I want to. It's not that hard for me to undo this. So I'm gonna go on to an actual one that should actually scare you, maybe.
I'm pulling this up right now. I'm sorry.
If you get us turned off, I'm gonna fuck you up.
I will not tolerate slander.
Get rid of rap because we can't show it. So
I'm pulling. It's coming up right now.
Okay, we're just gonna remove it. We're gonna get kicked off the air. For some non-scary shit.
Or for the scariest raptor scene of all time.
That's not even a thing, dude.
100% is the thing. This was the biggest movie of all time during its time. Math is undefeated.
Okay, I said jump scare, and you bring up some softcore shit. All right.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
Okay, this isn't a jump scare.
Yes, it is a jump scare.
I see it. I'm expecting it. I'm.
You're expecting because the movie's 30 years old.
Okay. All right. So I should have clarified jump scares for pussies, maybe. No, it's kidding. All right. Well, let's go to my so now I'm on number 4. And number 4 actually comes from the same series. Now, when you're talking about this, once again, this is an even older movie than Jurassic Park, even older movie than Aliens. Alien, it really only has for me one jump scare, and it's really one of the most famous ones in all of science fiction horror, and that's when stupid ass Kane, for some reason, needs to stick his head. Every time I see this. And every time I see these eggs, no matter, what Alien series it is, even the stupid ones, even Alien versus Predator, even Requiem, every time I see this, if I saw one of those things from 20, 30 feet away, guess where William is going? The other way. Okay? I'm not getting anywhere near this. And guess what? If I'm full enough to close in and get this close as this full is, once it opens, I'm gone. Once it opens, I'm gone. Not only does Bonehead Kane stand there while it's opening, he sticks his head directly over it, and it's moving and everything. Now, if you're seeing Alien for the first time, not in retrospect, something bad's about to happen. You've never seen a face hugger before. Remember, just imagine face huggers being the first time you see it is when it's on his face and burning through that helmet. and the suddenness in which this happens in. This was a fool right here. This was a fool, and then obviously it leads to, let's see, it leads to this. Oh, like I said, he gets even closer. He gets even closer to it, and what what should have happened to Kane happens to Kane. This is too close, and obviously the rest is history. So that's my number 4, and the way they shot that. And I remember he said he used chicken breast and stuff to for the membrane. The way that thing pops out and gets him. Now, we've all seen this movie over and over and over and over and over again, but just imagine seeing it for how did you feel the very first time? Some of you saw this movie after you knew what his Xenomorph and the Fish Figure was, so that's really not fair. But for somebody who saw this movie, I didn't see it in the movie theaters, but I saw it before there were any sequels. Scared the shit out of me as much as that can happen. There you go. That is my number 4. Brad, what is your number 4? I hope it's scary this time.
I got another one here. Which about that one from Alien, that's nowhere near as good as Clever Girl. I'm just putting that out there. Sorry, sad to be said. But anyway, I'm gonna try to find the GIF here. I'm put the GIF up because this one it's a quicker one. But
I tried to find GIFs so that I wouldn't get torn down, but yeah, well.
You see, I want to introduce it by GIF form because this one, it's a quick one, but it's so good that this was a jump scare when I first saw this. Is this GIF in here? Let me see. Talk the chat while I'm trying to pull it
up. Let's see. We're gonna get Brad in. I don't know what's the limit you can play. But I know some. Like one we got taken down. I think what we do for Jim Carrey, it took 2 seconds, and they fucked up our whole stream. That pissed me off, man.
Okay, I'm not seeing it in the GIF. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and say it. It's from Predator. It's during like the final battle of Predator, and it's right after Arnold gets like all the mud like washed off his body when he falls into the lake.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about when the claw comes down?
Yeah. That's a really that is a very because it's a quick one, but it's so sudden because I
saw that GIF.
Well, because you know at that point it's like okay, he's got the Predator could see him now because he can't block the infrared vision with the mud all washed off. But again, it just hits you like right between the eyes. It's so fast and again the fact that you can tell that the Predator has adjusted the blades so they whiz right past his.
Didn't get his ass.
Yeah, they whiz right past his neck without stabbing through him. And the Predator is the fact the Predator is being such a dick by doing that because it could have killed him right there with that. But
toy overconfident.
Exactly.
I can't find it, but I've seen somebody use that. All right, so that was your number 4. So now we'll head to my number 3. Now, my number 3 is going to be underrated. I remember seeing this movie in the theaters. I don't know if we've done a watch party, but I know I've done live parties or live watch, alongs with this movie. Hold on, let me see if I can find a GIF of this one because, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna test my theory that we won't get if we just use like if we only show a certain bit of it. Hold on, I'm going to mute myself just to make sure. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to show this, and if we get kicked off, fuck it. I mean, this is from Exorcist 3. This dude, I saw this in the theater, and I was already had designated as this is my favorite Exorcist halfway through the movie because it was. So we're gonna watch the whole minute, and we're probably gonna get kicked off, but I mean, fuck it. It's not like I'm going to make $1 million off of this stream anyway. But I don't think I can explain this scene to you. So let me play this and make sure that we're on headphones. All right, I'm going to play. It's a 1 minute scene, and we're just going to. And the reason I'm showing the whole minute is because there's an intensity that leads up to that scene. It's like, fuck, man. All right, here we go. Wow, that's a shots fired, man. Shots fired. Right there. All right, and they went to they obviously went to a headless statue because he'd been her head, and then you see them pulling her body out, and they had used one of those things that opens up the chest cavities. They had referred to it before, but what they did is they just lulled you into I think I'm feeling a little bit bored. Oh shit! And it's the way she comes out of there and just does that. That's my number 3. I saw that in the theater, and it was a pretty decent crowd, more than I thought would be there for an Exorcist movie at that point. And this is 1990. And everybody was like, oh shit. So that was an oh shit jump scare movie. That was my number 3. My number 1 and 2 come from the same movie, but what is your number 3? Right?
Yeah, I knew you were gonna. I had a feeling when you were talking about doing this. Like, yeah, I bet he's gonna pick that one and overhaul, because that one ends up on a lot of like best jump scares lists. So that's really not surprising. So for my third, again, these are kind of, I'd almost say mine are fairly interchangeable. So I would say my third one, I don't know, because I'm going back and forth in my head, like, thinking of like, is that one like 1, or is that one 2, or is that one 3? Talk to the chat real quick. I'm gonna pin this down real quick.
Well, like I said, my number 1 and 2, you can probably guess. I've already told you what my what they were, but so it's not gonna be so much of a guess. It's gonna be a why. And these are things that generally caught me off guard as I was watching them. It's like, and like I said, I can go from disturbing scenes, like when we saw the movie with John Leguizamo, Clint, that we saw, where the guy gets the nail up to that was a disturbing, shocking
Violent
scene.
Night.
Violent Night.
Not scary.
There was some really things that when I'm like, oh my god, I jumped, but I wasn't scared. I jump reacted, but I'm like, oh my goodness, But yeah, that number 3 for me was just like fucking.
So number 3 for me is like this is, I would say, in the original Insidious. Is
that movie had a bunch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. For Insidious is proof positive that PG-13 horror movies can be very scary.
Like, if they're not based on anything like that standard, though, because most of Insidious was cinematography and movement of the camera, and because you're moving past shit in Insidious that you should see already, but you don't see it because of the way he's placed it. And then all of a sudden it's there, It's like, so I could see Insidious, anything from Insidious.
So, I really have pretty big mark for the series as a whole, but probably my favorite from the original ones is really anything to do with, as he's called, Darth Maul. The official name is Lipstick Face Demon, but everybody was calling him Darth Maul when that was coming out. But specifically the one, and this is in the trailers a lot, when they're when they're at the table and they're kind of discussing I had a vision of the visitor and he wants our kid, and then it cuts back to Patrick Wilson. And it's got him standing right, it's got Darth Maul standing right behind him, giving that scary face. Like, oh, that was a phenomenal jump scare. So, and like Insidious, the whole series is really full of them, and the first one set the table for that really.
Conjuring too. The Conjuring, you could take like a lot of things from the Conjuring, but
there's another one I kind of like almost do like a 3.5. from Insidious. It's when he goes into the further to rescue his son, and he's getting him, and then the son points up to the like the office and building or the room that the demon is in. And he looks back, and then he's looking at them through the window with the kind of the face like, you guys are gonna get you, and then cuts back to them, and he's standing right next to them. So I kind of
yeah, and that's another one of those where it didn't jump out at you, but the way they film stuff. Because if you watch like the John Carpenter Halloween from 2018, just forget about the other two. There's a lot of things in there that he's placed in that movie, but when you roll the camera, then he rolls back, and then it's like out right at you or some shit, dude. So yeah, okay. All right, so number 3 for me is I'm gonna let you outright know that my last 2 are going to be from John Carpenter's The Thing, which I consider to be the greatest horror film ever made, science fiction or horror. It is, as far as like science fiction, any horror type movies. Number 3 for me is going to be when the Norse monster's chest opens up and cuts off Copper's arms, because at this point the alien is having a heart attack because he's mimicked even the flaws of the person that he's taken over, and so his heart starts to give out. And as Copper is using the defibrillator on him, he uses it once, he uses it twice, and then this happens. Eight-year-old me almost did the same thing like cats when they jump to the ceiling to try to clutch onto the ceiling. I almost jumped out of my fucking body when I saw this. It's practical effects. It's stop motion for the most part, and some hydraulics. You can see the defibrillator in his arms, and this thing opens up, and it closes, and it kills Copper by cutting his arms off, and he bleeds to death. So basically what ends up happening is this. Let me bring it up. Where's that? This is one of the ones I debated about. Debated on whether I should actually just show the fucking thing, but I wussed out. Okay, no, I don't have the one where he's actually Copper falls away and he just bleeds out. But that one is number 2 for me. It just happens all of a sudden. Hold on, let me see something here. Hold on, let me do this, because like I said, all right, guys, let me know if we're still in the air, if we haven't been bratted yet.
As far as I can tell, we are. I mean, they're still in the comments.
Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, stop. Okay. This is so fucked up. Already so intense. And then this it gets worse, obviously. This is the infamous Norse monster. And once it realized that its body was about to die, it separates into the very famous spider head. There you go. And all of this is being done with reverse filmography, reverse, like right this, like right that. That was done reverse. I remember watching the other two. So this was from backwards. All right. Well, he turns into the spider thing, and they kill that too. But yeah, it's that's my number 2. Brad, what is your number 2?
Yeah, so I'm going to now venture into the realm of found footage here. One of my favorite. I think I've talked about it before. I've talked here before. I'm was pretty enamored with the Paranormal Activity franchise when it was during its heyday, and the first 3 really are kind of the
That's cool.
who's white and to expect what?
Because your jump scares are kind of, I guess, kind of soft.
Because I had like killer dinosaurs and like alien hunters and now ghosts with Paranormal Activity. So but what is in Paranormal Activity 3? The one that had the kind of the gimmick of the the camera that's like on the oscillating fan that goes back and forth, and they would always do like it'd go over here and then it would come back here, and then something would change or there'd be a big reveal there. And my favorite one that would do that is the ghost, like the part with the babysitter is he's sitting at the table doing her homework, and the camera pans over this way and then pans back, and you see over here there's someone sitting over there with the with a sheet over there.
I know what you're talking about.
Ghost, because previously she'd been playing with playing ghosts with the kids that she's babysitting, and now the ghost is doing that. The ghost screwing out with her, and it's got the sheet on, and then it cuts back to her, and then it cuts back over there, and and it's not there anymore, and then it cuts back behind her, and then it's standing right behind her with the ghost sheet, and then all of a sudden the sheet just drops to the floor, nothing there.
Yeah, and that's a good example of just knowing how to film in sequence that way. A lot of these movies did that to where even like Paranormal Activity, I think those movies are kind of lame, but there were scenes where they did master that effect. We too bad they didn't master us in the movie.
Well, and that's also that's kind of what I talk about when I say like found footage. Like they've really kind of they found ways in Paranormal Activity and VHS and ones like that to kind of like they're not Blair Witch shaky cam constantly, and they have things like that where the camera will be on a tripod or it'll be on like somebody's like shoulder, like the vest cam setup or the dash cam setup or what have you. And that was what was so inventive about that, was that they found new ways to kind of play around with the footage in each movie. And I really dug that the third one when they had the camera that that went back and forth. It would take like a full 30 seconds to complete a rotation, and they went to town with that every time with it. Once you saw that camera moving, you knew there was going to be some other big jump scare that would happen. They had another one of those. I almost, again, I could put this up there too with like favorite jump scares where the mother goes into she's the kids want to leave the house. Okay, we want to get away from the ghost, and she says no, we're not leaving, and the ghost wants them to go to grandma's house, and that's kind of like a plot spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. But so the ghost is trying to get them out of the house, and she's refusing to leave. And so there's this part where there's a knock at the door. She goes to the door, nobody's there. Obviously the ghost did it. And then she comes back to the kitchen, and then everything in the kitchen suddenly has vanished. And then all of a sudden everything, like the dinner table, like everything in the kitchen just drops from the ceiling all of a sudden. And she's like, okay, we're out of here. So yeah, I kind of put that again. That'd be maybe like a 2.5.
So now, I don't know if we need another Prometheus if Fede Alvarez is going to take what Ridley Scott has out there and go forward with it. I'm okay with him using what the seeds that Ridley left and incorporating it, because I'm going to get I want answers to certain questions, and it sounds like Fede Alvarez wants answers, and it's not even a Disney thing. Disney has given creative control over the Alien franchise to Ridley Scott. Disney doesn't get involved in the content when it comes to Alien. That's Ridley Scott runs that franchise. So it's not a Disney, coming in saying Disney is going to defer to Ridley Scott. And Ridley Scott is going to defer to Fede Alvarez, who's already shown that he is going to take the things that we saw in Prometheus and bring them forward. So I don't think you have anything to worry about there. And I don't know if we necessarily need a third Prometheus. Would I like one? Would I go see it? Of course. But I don't think if Ridley Scott is not going to, if he's done with the Alien franchise as far as directly being involved in it, is this going to basically executive produce and let the person he picked to do it? Then, I don't mind Fede Alvarez revisiting the Prometheus as long as he follows through. And I don't get any sense that he's not going to. I don't think we're going to get a third Prometheus. Because I think Prometheus was going to be something that Ridley Scott, Prometheus, Paradise, those are things he was going to be directly involved in. That's not to say that Fede Alvarez hasn't taken those elements and folded them into what he's going to do. So that's to me, that's the same thing. All right. See, we do not. Well, if we do, it needs to be built up.
I think the writing's on the wall, personally.
But there's no, hold on. There's not, when you say do another AVP, not that fucking garbage. Now, if you're saying you are going to methodically build up circumstances that logically work together, and you're not just doing this is a cool action figure, I wonder how it'll work with this action figure bullshit, I can be on board with that because the two individuals involved have shown that they can do that. We can't do AVP again. AVP was fucking awful. That's not what I think these guys are doing. I think they are building a world in which a lot of different things are in, and those two elements are just part of it. Whereas AVP was just, let's throw the two most popular things that we have, and let's let's do some generic bullshit. They didn't follow anything from the Dark Horse stuff that they could have with the engineers, any of that stuff. They just threw some bullshit together in two movies. One of them was really bad. Pred Alien. Oh my God, I'm going to vomit on my screen. But I don't think I don't think you're going to see AVP. I think you're going to see them build this world. And I think there's going to be a lot of elements into it. I think you're going to see a lot of familiar elements. But if they do it the way these two gentlemen have been doing their shit, I'm okay with it. If we end up with an AVP, I'm back out of it again. I got away from the Alien and Predator franchise for a long time because of AVP. So, but like I said, look what they're doing in Badlands. And I've seen the first 20 minutes of Badlands. What they're doing there makes logical sense if you're going to do this. What they did back in 2004 and 2006, whenever Requiem was poured out from the sewage, that wasn't what they were doing. So big disclaimer, big qualifier there. All right, original Alien. When you see the alien coming from the chick, you see her from. Yeah, and they don't even show it too. That's the thing. They don't even show it. You just hear her screaming over the intercom. The gigantic gap back scene in GBS was a jump scare. I don't recall being scared there. The baby revealed sick and Eraserhead. I don't know if that's a jump scare. That's disturbing. That could go on our disturbing one.
Real quick, and also kind of it's kind of like a quick sort of.
Well, that's a classic one. That's a classic one.
Yeah, like a commentary or analysis on like what I think really constitutes like a really great jump scare. It's like a lot of times it's not necessarily in all cases, because 1960 I didn't know that was going to happen in Psycho, but
yeah.
But one thing that I think really, probably like 2/3 of the time, maybe like 70%, a jump scare is when you anticipate when something terrible is about to happen, like when it's like someone's about to get killed, or the monster is going to appear on screen, or the killer is going to appear on screen. You already sense something bad is about to happen, and
just like that scene from The Exorcist 3. It was so intense, and even with the Thing, it was everything about the Thing is so intense that it lulls you in. You're already tense, and then that's a breaking of the tension in the best way.
Well, bring it back to Psycho. Hitchcock, he defines suspense as his standard for suspense was, there's two people, they're eating breakfast at a table, and there's a bomb under the table, and he defines suspense as the bomb doesn't go off, but the tension comes from the fact that there's a bomb down there, and any second it could go off. And that's, I think, what really the kind of the science of like a really great jump scare is that something really scary, really horrifying is about to happen, and it's a matter of like, okay, when do we pull the trigger on it?
The anticipation,
Yeah.
Number one for me. This wasn't a jump scare, but I wasn't happy. That pissed me off, man. Yeah, you're still on. So
I'll go ahead and give my number one. My number one jump scare of all time right now is the first Superman scene in Justice League 2017.
I'm waiting for your real answer.
No, it's like I'll let you yours first, but it's like,
all right. So,
but that kind of has the same effect when you think about it.
Not really. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna actually show this, and if we're still on the air now, I think we're gonna stay on the air. Obviously, you already know if you watch this. This is, like I said, once again, this is number one for me. It's the second one from this movie. The same thing that makes the previous scene, the suddenness out of it, is the attention. Before that scene happened with Copper, they had somebody had drained all the blood to try to do the blood test, which is where we're at right now. And so, MacReady is paranoid because they've tried to lock him out. They've tried to lock him out because they think he's one of the things, because one of them has set him up to look like it. So that's why he has the flamethrower and he has the dynamite in his hand. So if anybody tries to attack him, he's going to blow them all up. That's why that scene when Copper, got his arms chewed off and all that, that led right into that scene. It literally built up the tension and then it exploded. This is the same thing. So this is after Copper's dead. Since that scene that led to this was the blood storage is being sabotaged. He's saying, okay, there's another way we can do this, because we don't have to have the blood samples. We just need a sample of your guys' blood. And when I put this needle onto it, that thing, just like when that head came up, is going to preserve itself down to the cellular level. So the blood is going, the blood, is a test. So here we go. First time movie goer, you do not know who it is. Bam. So now Windows knows he's not one.
Now I'll show you what I already know.
And MacReady's doing himself.
It's a crock of shit.
Let's try the Doc and Clark.
That's Copper, who's dead.
Now Clark.
Now he's just killed Clark in the previous scene.
And Clark was human, huh?
Hey, Keith David, I've interviewed that guy.
Palmer now.
All right, here we go.
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
I thought you'd feel that way, Gary. You were the only one that could have got to that blood. We'll do you last. Get away from me!
Okay, and obviously Palmer turns into the thing, and the rest is history there. Every time I show the thing, whether it be in our drive-in or we do a small screening of the thing, I always make sure I find out who the people are who have never seen that movie before, because I get next to them, I want to watch them watch this scene, and I love it every fucking time. So that is my number one jump scare of all time.
You know what really is it's kind of like a little bit of like a sort of offshoot of that is because they have the thing. They don't know. Nobody knows who the thing is, so they have to find all these ways to test out. Okay, we're going to try the fire on the blood, and et cetera, et cetera. And then you notice that Robert Rodriguez, about 16 years later, he did a similar thing with that in The Faculty, when the collection of kids. They're trying to figure out are any of us infected by the alien parasite? So they have to like snort kind of like the homemade, a pen cocaine drug that Josh Hartnett makes. And then that's when Jordan Brewster gets exposed to that. And also later find out in their midst, the kind of the queen was in the center of it all. But I always found that's kind of,
Yeah, they kill her with like a pencil.
No, it's guaranteed to jack you up. So,
that chick, that Laura, whatever chick ended up being, the blonde ended up being. Let's see. Yeah, special effects. That's his 1982 too. Like I said, I was watching the thing in the movie theater same weekend I saw Blade Runner.
I have seen it theatrically. I've seen. Were there any? I think there were at least probably one or two people in that audience who hadn't seen it before, so they did, jump and jolt on cue. So for my number one, I like they pay tribute to The Thing and Sinners, and they all, like I said, the Thing kind of sets that template of, we don't a scenario where like the protagonists, we don't know who we can trust, so they have to like.
Remember, this is a Cold War movie, and that's why that works.
Yeah. So that's been recreated and homaged in like other really good horror movies since then. So I think my number one I'm going to go with, and it's from one that William does not hold in terribly high regard, and nor does the author of its namesake, but The Shining. Specifically the death.
That movie had a jump scare.
That movie had 500 of them.
Because it put me to fucking.
The death of Halloran, who by the way does not die in the novel, but when he gets to the Overlook, and he pries and he open that door, that's when they're snowed in, he walks slowly through, and Jack hears him coming, and it's like what I say about it. You get a jump scare. It's like someone's about to get killed, something bad's about to happen, and it's just you're on pins and needles until it happens, and it's so masterful in how much it just draws it out, because it takes him like a minute and a half to get from the front door to kind of the area of the lobby, and he's at hello, is anybody here? Dead silence, and out of nowhere Nicholson just from behind that pillar with that axe, and there you have it.
That's your number one?
Yeah, that one. I think I was 14 the first time I saw The Shining. That one scarred me for years. That one still gets me to this day. Anytime The Shining is something that can still really scare the hell out of me. And
I never connected with that movie on any level.
How is that possible?
That is one of the most. Stanley Kubrick is. And
here's another one. Wow. Again, another like a kind of honorable mention within that. The guy in the bear suit. The guy in the bear suit is so creepy. And I'll just leave it at that for anyone who hasn't seen it. But the guy in the bear suit.
It's a 50-year-old movie, but not a big fan of The Shining, but a lot of people are. Stanley Kubrick in general puts me to sleep. He's my Benadryl. So, but hey, everybody, this is a poll. This is not a totalitarian.
Well, like I said, also Stephen King. He's and I get it in his case, because if you read the novel, I mean the novel is autobiographical, because he wrote that when he was going through his own addiction and family issues, and
we don't encourage Brad here.
Oh really? Yeah. Can I? Well, now that we're on that, can I talk about my favorite fight scenes?
No.
But
on your Kung Fu show, yeah.
Let's
fuck you.
2049. So, it can't. Yeah. So he's been kind of historically has been pretty disparaging of it. And I could definitely see that from like his perspective, not only as the author of the novel, but also the fact that it was so predicated on like the issue he himself was going through at the time. And that was what was really cool about Dr. Sleep when that came out, because that was and that unfortunately didn't do too well, at least not theatrically, which is but it's just a shame, because it was really acclaimed, deservedly so. But that was a really, really great exercise. They kind of threading the needle of it's adapting the Dr. Sleep novel, which is a sequel novel to The Shining, but it's also operating as a sequel to the Shining movie. And they pull that off. They really, it's really impressive how well they managed that.
It's horribly marketed, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, also like it came out not too long after It Chapter 2, and I think like as far as like the Stephen King kind of
That should have helped it because it chapter 2 was a hit. I mean,
yeah, but I don't know. Maybe people were like kind of like. I think they were both for Warner Brothers too, weren't they?
yeah, it chapter 2 did very well.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't
no,
know.
no, they were really kind of as far as like their Stephen King output, they were really I think probably pushing most heavily with it chapter 2 because the first one was such a hit.
Oh yeah, advertising wise, yeah, it was just an easier movie to advertise. It 1 and 2 were easy. I remember getting like.
I mean, it's
balloons
easy
and
to market
everything.
the scary clown. It's Doctor
Yeah.
Sleep. Like what's Doctor Sleep? It's like it's Eagle the Shining. Okay, but
Yeah, and that kills it right there for a lot of people. But yeah, it isn't easy. I mean, we got a ton of stuff for it. We got posters for it. We got the little welcome to Derry thing. We had the little Derry things. I go back to if I go back to my pictures for it. We had a lot for it. It was one of the most fun movies that we ever did.
yeah. And then of course we got the Welcome to Derry series coming up. Looking forward to.
When is that happening?
That's supposed to be they haven't given like an official date yet, but it's supposed to be in October when it's supposed to be dropping.
That's only 2 months away.
Yeah, so give us like that's sometime between October 1st, October 31st. So can you be more precise on this?
All right. Well, only other news days. There's people still belly aching over this, which I think is hilarious. It's the only Superman thing we're going to discuss tonight. Listen,
the digital release.
This whole 45, 90-day window, you grown people wanting this. Listen, if you get it, more power to you. I'm going to root for Santa Claus to still give me gifts as a grown-ass man. It's not going to happen. I don't. Somebody in the chat or somebody in the comments explain to me why would a studio keep a movie in cinemas any longer than they absolutely had to. They're not thinking from fanboy point of view. They're thinking about getting their money back. And I saw somebody repost this, and they're like, because he gave a reason now because of Peacemaker coming out on the 27th, and that makes sense, and that's fine. But even without that reasoning, it's been in the theaters long enough. You've made your lion's share of your money for everybody, all the second and third parties involved. You made their money. Now it's time for you to bring that back home and make your money. So I don't see. And I posted this. No one is. People have given me what they want. People have given me, how they feel about the cinema, and how nostalgic and all that shit to them. But nobody has given me a solid answer of why would a studio, especially Warner Brothers, keep this in theaters any longer than they had to. Nobody's been able to answer that question. Not a legitimate answer. They've given me their passion and desire answer, but not a legitimate one that would actually make sense for somebody who paid for this. You want to get that on your PVOD platform as soon as possible. Because most of these guys are either in bed, and the majority of, or almost entirely, are working these PVODs, and they have deals that get them a large percentage of their own movie. And then it goes to your streaming platform, which helps you with your retention. 35 days is enough. This isn't 1987. I don't need a movie to be in the theaters for 4 to 5 months and then take another year to get on VHS. We don't need that anymore. So that was the only real news I saw over and over again. And I saw his explanation of it, and I'm like, I mean, you didn't even have to give that explanation. 35 days is long enough. That's your explanation. They can count to 35. That's enough. So let's see, 6 to 8 episodes. Guy carries home. All right, that was the only thing outside of that. Midnight Mass was good. Still waiting for a second season. My copy of the overrated Last Ronin has arrived. Well, maybe once you read it, Drugga, you won't be overrated for you, because it wasn't overrated for anybody I've ever put that book in their hands. All right, I think we've discussed. I came, I saw, I conquered. I got my No, I have not seen Midnight Mass on Netflix. Brad, have you seen Midnight Mass on Netflix? Have you seen Midnight Mass, Brad?
No.
Okay, I'm assuming no. You just not.
No, I haven't yet. Let's see if we got it right. Oh, I'm going to pull it up now because I just found the GIF from the Predator one I was talking about.
Oh, like an hour into the show. I'm glad I was able to buy you no time.
Yeah, sure. But again, this is because everybody's thinking when this part happens in the movie. I mean, that's everybody is. He fell into the water, so all the mud washed off. So it's like everybody's thinking at that point, oh shit, the Predator's going to see him. It's just a matter of when at that point. And they waste no time in that. It's like this is like right when he's getting up out of the water and just bang, those blades come down. They miss his neck on either side by about maybe like 1/8 of an inch. and you can tell from like they're designed to be like they can be sort of modified to where you can adjust the width of them because they're not that far apart. And the Predator did that. Again, the Predator could have killed him right there, but the Predator said, no, I'm going to have some fun with this last kill because he's putting up the best fight of anybody.
Yeah,
So,
we get to see Dutch again.
Yeah. That's also exciting. I mean, God, bring on Badlands when we get there. What about 3 months now? I am so ready for Badlands.
October, yeah, because they're still working on it.
November, yeah. It's like November? Yeah, November.
That's what it's. Well, I don't know if they'll lose money, but they'll make more once they get into their platforms. All right, guys, that's about it for me. I got some eating to do. I got some website work to do, and some promotion to do for this weekend. This Saturday, I don't know if we're going to do an afternoon watch party. I'll make that decision. Obviously, we know what we're doing. So I will get with Larry, and it looks like we're going to do Civil War and the Warfare. We'll do those on Sunday early afternoon, and then we'll roll right into the FSP. I'll make the because I'm going to invite some people, and hopefully we can get some people on board. Hi Chuck, bye Chuck. So
we're doing all 3 of those on Sunday.
Yeah, possibly 4 if I decide to do Superman 2025. Because I'm gonna probably purchase it on Friday on PVOD just so I can, just so I can have it.
Well, I mean, did you tell everybody like why there's not a watch party on Saturday?
No.
Okay, so you not announced like that thing yet?
No, that thing didn't happen. They were gonna move us downstairs, but instead they fixed the elevator.
Oh man, really?
Which is, to me, fine.
Well, you sounded so excited for that when you told me that.
Well, because it's when they told me the elevator was never being fixed, I'm like, well, where do you guys get your information from? Because, the guys are out there. And then now somebody else called me and said, it's fixed. It just has to go through a final inspection next week. It's working. So if you can get either I come down so that you can get to me or the elevator works, because my customers will use that elevator. They will use that elevator. A lot of them.
All right. So, problem solved either way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool to be downstairs, but at the same time, I would have to stop the store, close the store, and organize it. We'll still probably end up moving downstairs after they refurbish, still because they're going to start with the top. But the reason why they were going to do it is because the one landlord did not think that they were going to get it replaced, and they had to replace the entire motor. Everything in the elevator is new. So apparently there's an inspection next week with the county. They're going to inspect it. And because I saw them working on it, I'm like, what did they just throw their hands in and give up? I mean, I don't know. Because we went down to today to take pictures of what was going to be the new place, right? And I called to say, hey, meet me here with the key. And that's when they told me, no, they got it fixed. I'm like, okay, fine with me. Because once I get that inspection done, once I get that, dude, I'm going to do a fucking TikTok with me dancing to the fucking elevator, pushing the button and going up. And I'm going to make sure all my locals see it, because I have a lot of locals that can't come up to me because of that. And that's been the sticking issue. So like I said, move me down or fix the elevator. To me, it's the same percentage increase in customer viability. So William is happy either way. All right, guys, that's it. I will not be on anybody's air tomorrow early afternoon because I have a schedule conflict. So you probably won't even see me. In fact, you won't see me on Vodka Stream unless he goes like 10 hours. And the next time you see me, like I said, have not completely ruled out a Saturday afternoon watch party, but Saturday is the biggest day of the week for me, and it's the first one since back to school has happened. So people might have a little bit
So
more
level off for you business.
Yeah, so I might be too busy to do one, but we'll see how it goes. So, no twerking, nah. No, I won't twerk, but I will cartoonishly run to that elevator, and like I said, I'm gonna send out a mass email. I'm gonna do Twitter, everything, because I get emails at least twice a week from regulars about the elevator. Now some of them we've been able to deliver stuff and send it out to them, but some of them I want you to be able to come walk around, my geek cave, so that's cool. All right, now Force is being a bonehead. All right, guys, I will see you Saturday and then we're gonna do our normal show on Saturday. I have trying to line up some stuff, but trying to get a hold of people is not easy. Communication is a two-way street.
Yeah, I was it's like Jay Oliva. I was about to ask about that.
I'm still waiting to get that. Still nothing. Still waiting
Yeah.
to get that. I know I was promised, but I was promised Ryan Burnett, and that took 2 years. So, All right, guys, see you this weekend.
See ya.
Like, subscribe, share. If you want a goofy movie or a good movie, the link is right at the chat. And just if you do donate, put in the instructions what are you doing it for, and then we'll go from there. If it's too stupid, I'll just refund you. But hey, we'll give it a try. See you later.
See you guys.